Hi, and welcome to the Vet Story Podcast. This is the podcast where we talk about the business side of veterinary medicine. You know, the stuff they didn't teach you in school. We focus on what really moves the needle, from metrics, leadership, culture, and the decisions that makes running a practice easier. I'm your host, Reese Generelli. I am a multi-practice site owner and the founder of Innovative Veterinary Management Solutions. My purpose is simple: to help practice owners move from the business operator category to the business owners category. And with that, let's get started. We are back with another episode of the Vet Story Podcast. I'm joined today by Shane Gentry. How you doing, Shane?
Good, man. How about yourself?
Good. You know, I always love the North and South Carolina accents. I think they're just amazing. So, hey, how's things going with you?
We're just as fine as frog hair. No,
Fantastic.
it's cold, it's sunny, and all of the above down here in North Carolina.
Shane, talk to the audience. Tell them a little about yourself.
Well, my name's Shane Gentry. I am the owner of Sally Said So Professional Dog Training. We are a very unique dog training company in that we are exclusively veterinarian referred and have been so since 2009 and provide in-home behavior modification and dog training services across the state of North Carolina with 16 of the finest dog trainers you will ever meet. And again, with that exclusively veterinarian referred twist, it's unique in itself that way.
That's also, now, obviously, I need to ask the question. Sally Said So. How did that come up?
Sally was my dog. She was a little Boston Terrier. Yeah, everybody always asks if it was my wife or who it was. And
we also need to blame it on my wife, don't we?
Yeah. When I used to answer the phones for the business, and it still happens today, we get calls every day where people say, "Can we actually talk to Sally?" I'd be on the phone going, "You got him." You could hear the person on the other line kind of stutter a little bit. "Oh, we're so sorry." I'm like, "Nah, I'm just entertaining myself."
Love it.
Yep.
So 2009, exclusive veterinary referred. That's unique.
It is unique, and it was a big accident. I would love to sit here and say I came up with this gigantic master plan of dog trainer world domination takeover, but it was a big whoopsie. So to start with, I guess we'll do the story and then we can talk about the entrepreneurial part of this.
Yeah.
I was actually living in my car when I started this company. I had lost everything, and we literally, when I tell this story, whether it's to vets or to entrepreneur groups, I call it from the shit house to the penthouse. We've been in both places. It's pretty crazy. But the veterinarian aspect, I had a skill. I had a business card, and I have no business. And me and Sally Dog sitting in my something Subaru behind the food line on Highway 70 in Clayton, North Carolina, figuring out how we're going to get out of that car. I walked into Clayton Animal Hospital 16 years ago and introduced myself. I said, "Hey y'all, my name's Shane and I can make dogs do stuff." And you could see every single person at the front desk of that hospital put their head down, put their fingers on the keyboard, and were like, "Oh my God, not another freaking dog trainer. Please put your crap over there on the table." They wouldn't even look up and acknowledge that I existed. Giving them my best pitch anyways, because, I'm not shy. One of the techs spoke up and said, "Hey, I've got a dog. I've tried every trainer in town, still got a problem." And I just asked her simply, "What are you doing after work? I'll come by your house and see if we can fix it." And so I did. That very same day, I went to her house after business hours. I solved the problem. It was not really a big deal. And she went back the next day, told everybody at the hospital that I wasn't crazy and that it worked. Because they all know her story, because she's always complaining about her dog and, this trainer, that trainer. Booked my very first client just like that the very next morning. And so my brain just went, right? I was like, I don't know why. I just didn't know. I just never knew that veterinarians would refer a dog trainer. I mean, now it seems like a really cohesive relationship, right?
Yeah.
But
16 years ago, probably wasn't a thing.
Right. It wasn't, because they all looked at me like I had 4 heads. And I'm that maniac, dude. I would go in a vet's hospital, be like talking to the receptionist, and she's like, "Oh, my dog, he's so terrible, yada, yada, yada." I'm like, "Is he here?" They're like, "Yeah, let's go get him. Bring him out here in the lobby. I'll do it right here." And you got to be really confident in your handling skills.
Yeah.
But it would work. And so, then, the trajectory happened very, very quickly. And I was so not ready for it. I mean, I've always been able to spot the opportunity, and I've never been scared of anything. So it was scary, but exhilarating too, because first place my brain went was, well, shoot, if one vet's going to refer me, what if I had five? What would happen if I had five veterinarians referring my services? I wouldn't know what to do with myself. I wouldn't have to live in my car anymore.
Yeah,
My
absolutely.
brain was thinking this big, when now it's thinking this big. And so I kind of set a goal for myself. I was like, well, I'm gonna see if I can get five vets referring me. So I woke up every single morning. I got in my car at 8 a.m. and I didn't come home till 5 p.m. And I walked in and out of every vet's office that I had enough gas money to get to. And I would hit them on the way out and I'd hit them all on the way back, just so they didn't forget this face.
Yeah,
And
nice.
started offering free training for vet staff. Then came the marketing. Like, as I started to build a client base, I started to realize who my actual client was. It's the
Yeah,
lady of the house. I mean, I was getting 90% of my clients at that time, and probably it's still 75 to 80% of my clients today are still the lady of the house. We get a lot of parents that are at home with three kids under the age of 12 and the husband's off at work. Over the years, it's changed. Now we've got a lot of single younger adults that are choosing not to have kids so early and they're getting dogs.
yeah,
This fluctuation of young professionals, but it's still mom that calls the hotline. Yeah, they do us stubborn ass men go, hey man, I need help. I can't do it. We just go, I'll figure it out. See, that pride
yeah,
can get you every time.
yeah. No, the
So as this thing started growing, man, it went absolutely insane. I can fast forward to last year. Actually, I've got a meeting with my staff to finish out this year's numbers. But last year, so year number one, I got to my five referring vets that I
yeah,
fast forward now to last year, 2024, we had 397 individual hospitals refer our services in North Carolina. Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yes. And that creates a system that supports 16 full-time dog trainers. I cannot even begin to tell you how incredible these people are. They're just not just good dog trainers, man. They're amazing people and they're compassionate, they're passionate, and they're all women. It just happened to be that way. And there's Dale. So always,
Dale.
yeah, there's all
Poor Dale.
and Dale. Yeah.
Poor Dale.
Poor Dale, way outnumbered. Me too, But I tell you, Reese, we didn't just go after female clients. We didn't just hire female trainers. It just happened to be a female client base. And everybody from my office manager to my general manager to all of our trainers and Dale are all.
And
And when told me to
can we change your name to Chip
go,
so that we've got Chip and Dale?
so every household that we go into all has the same story. The dog will listen to my husband because he's tall and he's big and he's got a deep voice. And that is so not the case at all. When I send a woman into a woman's home and watch her pick up a leash and do something that she couldn't do with her dog, we're not just training dogs. We're empowering women to be leaders. They lead, they stand a little taller, they got their shoulders back now, and they take charge and they go, I can do it. And they do it and they see it. They see another woman do it right in their living room. And then we empower them, we teach them, we educate. Everybody wins. Like, I can't even, it's and being raised by a single mom, it's the most proud thing I think of my entire life, is just knowing that we've made an impact in another woman's life to make their life better. Even though it's just a little bit of stress that it takes off, that the dog's not a maniac, and it's the empowerment that they visibly outwardly show that says, I can do it. And they can. And they're badass at it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Man, I love that. I love that you saying when you said the hen house and the penthouse.
The shit house to the penthouse. Started out in the shit house, and I've gotten to live in the penthouse.
I love it. I love it. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I need to understand a bit. So, how did you come up with the concept? Like, hey, I can train dogs. Like, how did you know that that could be a thing for you?
Yeah, so that's another really fun story. Really, truly, we grew up, and my mom, growing up, I couldn't even have a dog. My mom would never let us have it. I had a cat growing up, but I was definitely a dog guy, But I've always been fan with communicating with the aliens, right? It's this thing. It doesn't think like we think. It doesn't emote like we emote. It's got problem solving, but no rationalization. And like, I was just always curious about how to bridge the gap between like, can I elicit a response that I'm actually going for out of this critter, right? So anytime I was around a dog, a cat, anything, man, I used to have a pet prairie dog, and I taught it how to walk on a leash.
What's a prairie dog?
It's like a little groundhog. It's like a squirrel that lives underground.
Oh, you call it a prairie dog?
Yeah, you have to Google it. It's a prairie dog. But
I'm gonna look at it.
but I had a pet prairie dog, and I actually taught it. I mean, it was like, I wonder if I can. I wonder if these things can learn stuff. So I taught it how to walk on a leash, and because they're only about the size of a squirrel, like a big fat squirrel. And
Okay,
what
I'll look it up.
anytime I was around a critter, I just want to talk to it. The curiosity part is what really sparked it. The ability to actually accomplish the goal. Like if I wanted to teach it how to sit or something, I figured it out. Then it turned into I just love animals and I want to hang out with them. I used to raise goats a long time ago. I trained one of my goats. He's probably the best dog I ever had. And so I've trained a couple of pigs, a goat, a prairie dog, and 10,000 dogs.
All right, so I've got. It wasn't a beaver. I was looking at a gopher.
Gopher. Okay, yeah, I should have come up with that.
Gopher.
Yeah.
There's marmots, which looks very similar. Look, like, these all look the same to me. But yeah, okay. I did not know a prairie dog exists.
Yep.
They exist very few in very specific regions in Canada, Saskatchewan.
They're
Interesting. I'll look today.
They're
That's cool.
super fun. They're super fun pets if you can. So back in the day, this was like, God Almighty, I was probably 14. So I mean, this had to been like 90, 91, something like that.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where I got really bit by the bug, I guess you could say, is, I was able to figure this thing out. As I got closer to it kind of being a profession, I realized, I have a lot of how, but I had no why. Like I knew it was working, but I didn't know why it was working. Really
Right.
difficult to be all in, and you got to be all inclusive, all encompassing. You can't just have a bunch of really fun ideas without knowing why they work. Because when they don't work, you got to be able
Yeah.
to the process and go, okay, which now 90% of the time this works on 90% of the dogs. Where in here is this 10% that, and that 10% is the real, those are the lifesavers. Those are the ones that, dogs that may be up for behavioral euthanasia that somebody couldn't figure out that we normally do figure out. It's very rare that ever happens under our,
Mhm.
sometimes it does part of the process. It's nobody's going to save them all,
Yeah.
but that initial spark came from that prairie dog.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cool. I'm sure you would have like an abundance of you can't make this shit up stories.
Yes.
One.
Okay. I get this question often, and it's always the same story. I've got a million of them. There's only one worth telling. And I'm going to tell it here. You're not going to believe what the hell I'm getting ready to tell you. I don't even believe it, and I was there. I get this call, little old lady, and I mean old. Like, when I knocked on the door, she answers, Reese, this lady is so old, she probably owed Moses $5. And the nightgown that she was wearing was probably as old as she was, and there was no hiding any see-through, transparent, as bad as you think it probably it was. It was that bad.
It was see-through?
Like it was probably, I mean, her nightgown was probably 60 years. It's probably been through so many washes. It's transparent. It was bad. Bad. It was real bad. So that's my initial like front door, clink, here, open the door. Oh my God. So he's got a puppy. I mean, the waft of ammonia that hit me after she opened the door told me I was in for a real bad day. And I was. She had covered the entire house in puppy pads. Okay. There's potty everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's been there so long that it's old, dried, crusted over here and fresh over there. And obviously there's something else at the moment wrong, So, but we had a chat, I do a 2-hour consultation with every client before we accept them as a client because, we have the right to refuse to serve them and they have the right to say, nah, I don't want to do all that. Yeah. You go through the full process either way. She decides she wants to move forward with training. So I come back for lesson 1. It's no better. Everything's the same. I'm in the house for about 5 minutes and she grabs me by the hand and walks me out the back door to the backyard. And I shit you not, Reese, she hikes up her nightgown and pees right in front of me in the yard. And while she's peeing, explains to me she's so frustrated because she brings her dog out every day, 3 or 4 times a day, to show it how to pee outside. Kid you not. That look on your face says it all. I was like, I thought I'm looking around for cameras and stuff, man. I'm like, I have got to be on a prank show. Somebody is sitting in the bush right now having a really good time at my expense. I watched this old lady in her yard and explain that that is what she does to show her dog how to use the bathroom, and she's so upset that her dog has not figured it out yet.
All right.
Yeah.
She can walk without a cane, walk by herself.
Slowly, but yes.
And able to sit there and squat by herself.
Yeah. Oh no, she just hiked up her skirt like this and started peeing on the ground.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We didn't go to the bathroom. We were peeing in the backyard to show the dog how to pee in the yard.
But there was no squat. It was just lifted up.
Lifted up.
There we go.
There, let it all hang out.
I mean, I could keep going on, but I don't know who's listening. But okay.
So I politely handed her check back and said, "I'm sorry, but I can't help you." This is the only time I've ever turned a client down in 16 years was that one. You ain't got enough money. So yeah, that's the one, that's the go-to for the craziest client ever story. It's always that story.
What dog did you have?
It was like a little Jack Russell mix, something from a shelter she rescued or something like that. But again, that was a long time. And again, too, you got to remember, for me to give that money back meant give my rent back. You know what I mean? At that time, this was, within the first year I was in business, and to not have those finances at that moment was catastrophic. But there was no way that was going to rectify it. So, I mean, it was just, yeah. After that incident, I was like, okay, I'm going to go get some more vets and get some more referrals for that money, because I can't take your money. I just gave it back. That was it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I can just imagine you sitting there with like deer in the headlights going,
yeah,
surely this is not happening.
It was crazy. But I mean, there's so many stories, and there's so many triumphant ones. There's so many sad ones. I think, they say you only master your craft after 10,000 hours of whatever. And I think in the last 16 years, we've well surpassed having our hands on 10,000 plus dogs. Because after that first year, it really took off. Like currently right now, we're the largest privately owned dog training company in North Carolina. Almost 90% of dog trainers that you speak to are going to be, you're either talking to the owner/trainer, or they might have 2 or 3 or a couple of folks.
Yeah.
Some really big franchises out there that, make me look like nothing, as far as the volume goes. But as far as privately owned, I started it, I own it, I'm still 100% owner of it. There's no partners, there's no nothing. It's all me and my team. Hitting that 10,000 was a big deal for us, and it happened, like I said, it happened fast. It was year 2 through 6 were barn burners. I don't even remember half of it. I mean, I was leaving my house at 6:30 in the morning and coming home at 10:30 at night for, I think, before I hired my first trainer, I did that for 38 days in a row. That was the crossroad. It was, I got to be okay with, this is as big as it's ever going to get. I need an 8th day of the week, or I got to start hiring people. And there we went.
How did you have your team train the way you do, believe in the same methods as you do? Because everyone has their own training method, I assume. So how did that become, this is how Sally says so does way?
So great question. Okay. So the first thing I did was not giving in to just anybody or anything just to get it done. Even when I was up to my ears in it and I couldn't figure out what day of the week it was, I wasn't going to bring somebody on just to have a body. The standards are too high. I always told myself, if I ever found myself self-employed, which was always my dream, I was a decent employee when I had to be one, but I am definitely afraid of time clocks. So once I got out on my own compromise, I would interview potential trainers and make them jump through hoops, a lot of hoops, without the promise of a job. And how I would kind of wean out who wants the job versus who's out looking for a job. I'm looking for people that want a career, people that are looking for a job. The typical dog trainer scenario, if you were to go train for a franchise type thing, you actually have to pay for your training. So I just kind of reversed it. I never charged any of my trainers for their training, but I was But again, there was so many hurdles that they had to jump through that proved that they wanted to be here, that it was a safe bet. Not everybody that started here 16 years ago is still here. At a point, it just stopped working and we had to refine the process. But those first handful of trainers have to do 30 days worth of book work, which is horrible. It's the most monotonous, dry, not fun. It's like reading stereo instructions. It is an awful read. There's an 86-page workbook that they had to fill out along with this giant volume of books that they had to read. So that was kind of my number one. If they can make it through the books, then there's something there, because those books suck. And it's not even a training method. It's not like somebody's method of training is these volumes where this guy just put all of this information in one place. And it's from Pavlov to current day. I haven't read them in 16 years. So that was kind of the beginning. It was like, okay, you got to put up with some suck and I'll spend my time training you. Because at the time, it was just me. I had to do everything: the phones, the marketing, the lunch and learns, answering the phones, booking the jobs, and training the trainers.
Yep.
It was a lot. So the ones that kind of passed that initial test, I guess you could say, and I would invest the time in. Now, once we got to training, if I saw something that I didn't like, I would address it on the spot, because I'm a pretty direct guy, but I'm polite, but I don't have time to be around the bush either,
Yeah.
So if I saw something that I didn't care for, or a method or a style, because the way we operate, man, we don't hurt dogs. There's no shock collars, there's no prong collars, there's no aggressive handling, there's no starvation. That happens a lot. People starve dogs, and we don't take the dog. Like, we come to you, man. We don't have a dog problem. We learned that really early on too. Your dog's fine.
Yep.
But nobody would know what the hell we do for a living.
Yep.
So,
got it.
So all that had to happen. Like I said, of course, when they did get off the rails or try their own thing or step out of the way, there was instant termination. It was just, there's no, like, let's work on it. They know that. I tell them, me being direct as I am, I would hire them and say, here's your first and second warning. Don't mess up.
Yep.
If there was an accident, that's fine. That's understandable. If it's something that we did not teach, that I didn't approve, whether it's a piece of equipment or a method or a style of training, I worked my off to get.
That's fine.
Yeah, I worked my ass off to get this to where it's at. And I'll be damned if I'm gonna let anybody compromise my reputation. Being that we are vet referred, man, vets even today are still skeptical. And I'm the most accredited dog trainer in the state of North Carolina. And vets are still like, are you sure? Is it legit? And so hopefully I answered that thoroughly. My brain already going, but yeah, there's a lot of hurdles to jump through. And now, though, my general manager, Kelly, she's been with me for almost 10 years now, and she is so much better at it than I am. The team that we have now is amazing because of her, not because of me.
Yep.
It's amazing. I saw
Fondest.
Yeah, she came to me fresh out of NC State as a zoology major, and green as the grass, but passionate, man. And that passion, that's what makes this work, is the passion. I can teach the skill. You can't teach passion. They either got it or they don't got it, right? If they just want to sit in a room and play with puppies all day, great. Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's fine. There's room for that too. But if you want to make an impact on a dog, save a dog's life, somebody from going through the horrors of having to make a decision to put their dog down for a behavioral reason that's solvable, that is where so when Kelly came into the picture, they knew she was special, and I poured every ounce, everything I've got professionally, all the knowledge I've built over the last 16 years, the experience, the knowledge, the how-to, the leadership skills, the everything that it takes to build a company this size, she now owns, and so she does all of what makes the team that I have now amazing, because, she's just way better at it than that. Yeah. That's one of those hard lessons to learn along the way, is simple learning and understanding that I'm not the only talented person in this company. If you're talking to Kelly, you're talking to me. So I can sit back and do what owners do after 16 years of running a business and I don't have to worry about anything.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really good. I love that story. But I also know that you also have a fishing charter.
Yes. That is just started this year. That's called Nanny's Revenge Fishing Charter. and I am so addicted.
And his revenge?
Yep.
Okay.
Another
No, well,
good story. So yeah, it's always the women in my life. It was Sally, my mom, Nanny,
I
passed
half
in,
expected it to be
what
Sally said so fishing.
ah, now my staff did get me for Christmas last year. They did get me a fishing rod that says Sally said so professional fish trainer on the
Love it.
actual
And I
fishing
just
rod.
realized that there's a fish behind you.
There's a big blob fish there.
Yeah. I just thought it was that picture of like a flower kind of thing from
Yeah.
like where you are right now. But then when you moved a little bit, I saw the eyeballs. I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, that's a fish.
Yeah. This is my big giant
Did you
cinnamon
paint
like
that?
head in a way.
Did you paint that?
No, 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 no. A local artist here in Emerald Isle, North Carolina, Dave Five,
Uh,
something. I think he painted it. We've got several pieces
uh,
of his artwork around the house. We really dig his style, and it's black light too. So if you turn the lights out and shine a black light on it, it glows. It's got a really cool look to it.
Talk to me about how you said I want to own a fishing trailer.
Yeah, so I'm a beach bum. We moved from Raleigh, North Carolina to the coast about 8 years ago. As soon as I got my business, Sally said to where I didn't have to be involved in it on a daily basis, hence Kelly. Then me and my wife moved to the coast where my wife went to college in Wilmington. I have been going to Emerald Isle, North Carolina my whole life. My grandparents have always had a house down here, and so we always vacationed here. It was just a natural, thing. It was let's go to the beach. I've always had a boat since we've been down here. I didn't turn it into a business. This past year or this past January, this not the one coming up, obviously, this January, whatever the hell it is. Last January we had my mom passed. Everybody called her Nanny, and it was cancer. It was her second go round with it. She beat it the first time in 2016. This time around, it was really nasty. So on my logo is an anchor and a big giant middle finger in pink and with a cancer ribbon around it on the anchor, is F cancer, So what it did though, when she passed, it kind of put me in a headspace where I got to start looking at my life too. I'm definitely closer to the end than I am the beginning, and so I was like,
Yeah.
and I don't have any regrets for anything I've ever done, but I would regret not doing. The first thing that came to my mind was like I've always wanted to be a charter captain, take people fishing. I love it. There's something that I can't describe that happens as soon as we cross the break and we're in the ocean and we're 60 miles offshore in the Gulf Stream with the lines out, the reels are screaming, there's wahoo on the boat, there's tuna. I mean, I am every in my body is lit up like a Christmas tree. It is where I'm supposed to be, doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. I still love training dogs. I love this business too. But there's something in the water, man. After my mom passed, I talked to my wife about it and I was like, you know what? I really want to pursue this. So I said, but first, before I go buy a boat, let me make sure I can pass the damn captain's course first. I haven't been a student in like 35 years. I was like, I better make sure I can pass that class first. I took my captain's course, passed the class, and then we went boat shopping. Now, Nanny's Revenge Fishing Charter, we're on, it's growing just like the dog training business did. I use that same brain that built the dog training business from nothing to the biggest training company in the state. I don't know if I'll be the biggest charter in the state. I don't want to be. I just want to have the goal is small. If the boat,
Yeah.
I get to go fishing. That's the payoff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's how that all came around. One of the things that we did was we started an ash scattering service. So we take people with their dogs,
Sure.
loved ones' ashes, and we go offshore and we let them spread their ashes out in the ocean. I give them a screenshot of their GPS coordinates so they can make little mementos out of the GPS numbers. I've got a friend of mine that I've got a half sleeve tattoo up here with his GPS coordinates in the tattoo.
Yeah.
What we found too, though, is we've had more people releasing their dogs' ashes than their people's ashes. So we do it for dogs and for people. We had a client on the boat the other day. They had their mom and dad have passed and their parents' dogs. And they had them all in the same urn together so that they would go
Yeah.
all at the same time in the same place. Normally, I don't get too choked up about those things. I just go sit on the bow of the boat and I let them have the back of the boat to have their,
Yeah.
private time. But boy, I was like, don't look at me. Don't look at me. That one got me, man. That hit me right there to see everybody
Wow.
go together. So it was really special and a privilege, really, to be a part of something unique for people to kind of have that final,
Yeah. Well, listen, I am a fanatic fisherman. So
oh,
when I do
let's go.
go to North Carolina, I'm coming.
Hell yeah.
We're going I've never been tuna fishing, so you catch tuna?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the bluefin are running like crazy right now. They've already shut the season down. They opened it up. I think it'll open back up in January, but it was only open for a few days before the quota was hit. I mean,
Really?
400-pound tuna 6 miles offshore out here.
I have to go fishing for a client first around in North Carolina or come down. So I mean, yeah, if you know anybody, let me know, and we'll hit two birds with one stone.
We can do it. So with the training, we've got some unique services that we offer that aren't available at other training. We keep it pretty simple. We've got our flagship training program. Let me tell you about the things that I hate about the dog training business first.
Yeah.
Tell you why I fixed them. I fixed them for myself, not for the industry. So the dog trainer, and there's lots of businesses like this, so I'm not picking on all dog trainers, but it's the buying classes. I hate that model. If you're going to charge me for this class, the only reason I'm going to buy the next class if I don't get enough out of this first class to solve my problem, which there
Right.
a little bit of a moral and ethical like withholding of information so that you'll make another purchase. I don't like that. It feels shady to me. Just my own opinion.
Okay.
There's a lot of 99% of people out there do that. I'm that 1%, maybe a few others. So I created a program where they pay one flat rate fee and we cover the dog for the entire life of the dog. If you call me 7 years from now and go, Fluffy lost her brains, we come back. You never write another check again. You're not just getting your dog trained, you're getting an education. And so that was the first thing. I didn't like that part, so I fixed that part. And that kind of led into figuring out that there was some other problems. Problem number one for any dog trainer in any business, in any place, in any state, in any area, anywhere, is just the wrong damn dog with the wrong damn person. I mean, if you're a couch potato, you shouldn't have got the damn Vizsla. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look, if you see me running, you better get whatever you can fit in your hands and come on, because there's something real bad coming. All right. So I don't have a dog that needs to run. So we started a pre-purchase puppy consultation service. So we
Right.
I sit down on a call just like this, like we're doing now. I interview clients. It is an interview. It's not an interrogation, but it is a very skillfully crafted conversation where I'm looking for very specific pieces of information that are going to help me determine what is going to be the best option of a dog for this family based on whether they're hypoallergenic, whether they are active, are they whatever the criteria is. At the end of this consult, I usually leave the customer with 2 to 3 different options that are going to be good fit for their family. And then I let them stew for a little bit. They're going to go online, they're going to research, they're going to talk amongst themselves and then make a decision. We started doing that service 12, 15 years ago, something like that. We've got 100% success rate with the pairings. We've never had a pairing not work out. The shelter and the rescues are full of dogs that were just not a good fit for somebody because of a movie that came out with a dog in it or a TV show with a dog in it that, oh, look at that Malinois. Let's go get one of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't get a dog, you got a lifestyle. And if you don't live that lifestyle, you can't have that dog. So we pair the people, we decide what the dog's going to be, but then I take it one extra step and I actually go find it. I interview the breeder. The breeder does not know that I'm Shane with Sally Said So, interviewing them to see if they're above board. I'm just a normal client going, hey, how many do you have? Are there any available? How much are they? I'm not asking any questions that would tip them off.
Yeah.
But then I go through their websites. I look for all the buzzwords. If they're breeding multiple breeds of dog, if they're similar dogs and it's only they're breeding Australian Shepherds, Great Danes, Pugs, and Chihuahuas, that's a puppy mill, most likely. So we want to make sure we're ruling out supporting a puppy mill by accident. And we want to make sure that the client has a quality bred and ethically sourced animal. For instance, my last dog was a 160-pound Dog Day Bordeaux. And, giant breeds, the first 2 things to go is hips and hearts.
Yep.
Her breeder offered me, willingly, without me asking, 3 generations of certified hips and hearts on her pedigree. She just offered it. Hey, here's her pedigree on hips and hearts certified. I didn't ask for it. If the client chooses to go with a rescue or a shelter, I locate the dog and me or one of my team members goes and we temperament test the dog before they take it home. If they've got kids, we meet the kids with the dog. If they've got existing dogs, we introduce the dogs on neutral territory. They know exactly what they're getting and they have the option to say, maybe not that one. But some dog rescue or that shelter is going to go home that day. So it might not be the one we pick initially, but we go on down the line, the dog's getting a home that day.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and that's again, it's worked out every single time, but we put the time in. If our client chooses to sign up for our training program, we waive the fee for that service. I don't even charge clients to do it. That's how important it is that they get the right dog.
Yeah.
Then we also have an expecting mothers canine preparation course. That's our other specialty service. We actually we can do this after the baby's born, but it's most effective done prior to the birth of the
During.
baby.
Yeah.
We want to get in there about 4 or 5 months into the pregnancy. We put a baby doll in the home that cries, it makes noise, it does everything but pee and poop, and you ain't got to feed it. We teach every dog gets a place command. It's the first thing we teach every client: go lay down, go to your place, stay until released. We trigger that place command with picking up the baby doll. So they pick up the baby doll, dog goes to lay down. Out of the stroller, go lay down. Out of the bassinet, go lay down. The dog is taught a downstay in the hallway outside the kid's bedroom. They're not allowed in the bedroom because when they're babies and there's diapers being changed and then babies start to crawl and they get mobile,
Yeah.
that's usually where the problem is. 68% of dog bites in the United States are toddlers and in the face. I always call it the Lassie syndrome. Are you familiar with the TV show Lassie?
Wow. I was younger.
As long as you know what it is, the premise behind Lassie was, Lassie's going to come tell the family that Timmy fell in the well.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
So we want to make sure that that doesn't happen either. So the pre-purchase puppy consultations and the expecting mothers canine preparation course is our sort of our unique programs that you don't find just anywhere.
That's really interesting, actually. I probably would have thought of that myself. But that being said, hang on, did we? Yeah, we had 2 dogs when my wife was pregnant. They were fine. They didn't really care too much for the kids.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Interesting. I love both stories, Shane, or should I say, Chick. I love,
Yeah.
I love both stories. They're fantastic. I love how the vulnerability of coming back from the car to where you are today. I love that story and love the grits that you have. I admire that. I admire that in anybody, not just yourself, but I admire that grit.
Thank you.
That work.
Well, I want to tell, being that the vets are going to see this, I really want to. There's a few things about I'm not sure where you want to go next with the conversation, but there's a few things I want to make sure I don't pass up or don't forget to say.
Yeah.
With us being so veterinarian connected, okay, I mentioned earlier that we're the most accredited dog trainer in North Carolina, and that is absolutely true. And I'll explain what that is. So we're the only CE approved dog trainer in the state of North Carolina. We're the only dog training company approved by the North Carolina Veterinary Medical Board to offer continuing education hours to veterinarians that count towards their license every year. And in the States, they got to have 20 hours a year. Not sure about Canada. I'm sure it's got to be similar, I would imagine. So we're approved through the NCVMB. Never been done before. So we're one of one. Okay. That wasn't enough, right? Because I'm that overachiever. Hey, hang on. Lemmy, hey, come here. We just put up a Christmas tree and Lemmy's getting real curious about it. So the second thing, we're the only race approved dog trainer in the state of North Carolina, which is the Registry of Approved Continuing Education, which is managed by the American Association of Veterinary State Boards, which means I can offer CE nationwide. So I've been on rare occasions, I get flown out to different places to offer continuing education hours because veterinarians, notoriously don't get behavior in vet school, or very little. So as we built this relationship with the veterinarian community, it's always been and still is today. My goal is 100%. Every single decision I make for Sally Said So has, how is this going to positively impact a veterinarian at the end of that decision? If it does not positively impact a veterinarian, I don't do it. We're CE approved. We're race approved. I'm actually on the board of directors for the North Carolina Veterinary Medical Association. I'm the industry council president for the NCVMA. Again, never since the board was created has a dog trainer made it onto the board of directors. I'm sitting in the room with the dean of the vet school, with Merck, with the president of the NCVMA, the executive directors, the people that people like me should never have access to or could never get access to if we wanted, right? Yeah. Those things we take, so kind of goes back to that original passion, that original, how do we bring trainers on?
Yeah.
Like they have to sit, one of the parts, they got to sit down and listen to me tell this story because that's what you're representing when you walk into that living room. The reason you're in that living room is because of their veterinarian. Everything you do is going to go back to their veterinarian. right? If it was great, I've been Clayton Animal Hospital has been referring me for 16 years. But
Yep.
one client goes back in there and says, "Man, those guys showed up late. They didn't get the job done. I'm not happy." 16 years. They're going to think twice before
Oh,
they hand my card out again. It
yep.
is that fragile,
Yep.
and we protect it fiercely.
It takes a lifetime to build trust, but only an hour to lose it.
Absolutely.
A moment to lose it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I went with an hour because our sessions are an hour. I was like, well, yeah, that's about right. Yeah. But yeah, so all of those things have all just come about from veterinarian relationships. And I've spoken at 3 different conferences. We attend the North Carolina conference. We've been doing the conferences for about 8 years in North Carolina. We just opened up our first official market in South Carolina in Greenville. So this year, yeah, so now we have a trainer there. We're kind of turning on the lights in Greenville, South Carolina. I did the both South Carolina conferences this year. I spoke at the summer one and just as a vendor at the most recent one. And yeah, man, my world revolves around what can I do for you next as a veterinarian. Do we have time to go into the Vet Ready Go? Okay.
Yep, sure. So I love everything that you're doing so far, Shane. It's fantastic. I love all the walks that you've taken so far. But what is coming up that you're really excited about right this moment?
I got a new toy.
You got a new toy.
Yeah, I got a new toy.
Let's go.
Years ago, I created a program called Vetiquette. It was vet etiquette. Okay. I came out with this about the same time that Fear Free started to kind of really burst into the scene. They had way bigger budgets than I did at the time, and we were sort of in a race to start with, and then they went,
Yep.
you know.
Yep.
So what it is that we actually teach all of our clients veterinary exam style handling in their living room where the dog is comfortable, touched everything. We've poked, we've prodded, we do feet, ears, mouth, the tail, undercarriage, everything you got to touch, we touch. We teach the owners to do in their daily handling of their dog. But recently, I was working with one of our really good vets who you know, Dr. Munn,
Yep.
at Poplar Animal Hospital in Charlotte. And we came up with this program called Vet Ready Go. It is, but on steroids. So Vetiquette was just a website with a handful of YouTube videos that I put out, with my GoPro in my living room. It did its job for a while, but this is so much more comprehensive. So the new program, Vet Ready Go, is a physical deck of cards. And me being the dum-dum that I am, didn't bring any in here to show you. So but we have a website and I'll give you all the links. So are you telling everybody what it's about? So Vet Ready Go is a deck of 52 cards. Anybody want to take a guess at what kind of dog that is? I'll give you one guess. No, he's hashtag not a doodle. He's a legato.
What?
He's a legato.
Okay.
It's an Italian truffle dog.
Truffle dog.
Yep, and he's my best buddy in the whole wide world. Anyways, so Vet Ready Go is a deck of cards with 52 skills on what to do to be successful in a vet visit to prepare. The game is every morning, our clients shuffle the deck just like a magician, pick any card. They pick 3 cards every day, and they work on those skills. Whether the dog can do it or they can do it is irrelevant. It's to generate the culture of thinking about your veterinarian. The average dog owner has no idea what it's like to be in the veterinarian industry. They have no idea what the depression rate amongst veterinarians is, the 3.5 times more likely to commit suicide than the average profession. Your average dog owner is just like, hey man, give my dog a shot. I got to get on an airplane. They think that veterinarians and dog trainers for that matter just have magical powers that make dogs not bite them.
Yep.
So what we did in our never-ending quest to serve, protect, and enhance the relationship with veterinarians to make their dogs safer, make their clients safer. So this particular program is unique in that you don't even have to be a Sally Said So client to use it. Not everybody can afford our in-home dog training service. It's a premium service.
Yep.
It's got a premium price on it, and premium results.
Considering that it's a lifetime guarantee. Premium.
And but Vet Ready to Go is $40 for a membership for a whole year. Okay. And we mail a physical deck of cards to their house, but there's also a website. Now, the website, I will say I had to rename the business. So if you're looking for this program right now, the website is readyvetgo.ai. Readyvetgo.ai. It will eventually reach over to Vet Ready Go. But right now, readyvetgo.ai is the website.
Okay.
On the website, we have put all 52 of those cards in a digital format. So you'll have the physical deck in your hands, but you can also hit the shuffle button on the website. Those, when you behind the paywall, each one of those 52 skills has an expanded version of some quick tips and tricks on how to teach each one of those skills. There's no surprise that there's 52 decks in that card. There's 52 weeks in a year, and there's 52 skills in that deck. So there is 52 times that we're going to touch the client base, feeding them information like what it's like to be a veterinarian, the stress of the industry, how not to be a part of that. You want to be, I mean, well, it's summed up in the tagline. The tagline is help your vet, help your pet.
Nice.
It's all right there without any explanation. It's help your vet, help your pet. I'm super proud of this program. We put a lot of time. What's that?
How'd you come up with that?
It just made sense.
Tagline.
Look, I'm that maniac that's in the bed at 7:30 every night, dreaming up shit all night long, and I'm up at 3 o'clock in the morning, sitting at my computer going, I had an idea. I have to implement it. And it just kind of came to me out of, I don't know where it came from, just outer space. But that's just how my brain works. It's always in gear. I've got a million ideas. I've only come up with a couple that really worked. But if I wake up without an idea, I got more. I got to check my pulse, make sure I'm still kicking, you know? But that program so far is brand spanking new. I just launched it at the North Carolina Veterinary Conference this past November, and then at the South Carolina Vet Conference. So it's just now getting out there. We've got about 500 decks of cards circulating through vet hospitals. Everybody's starting to ask questions about it and really starting to get into, I'm getting ready to have it CE approved, where I'll be able to go into hospitals and give not just a demonstration of the program, but actually hours for RVTs and vets. It'll be race approved, and then I'll be able to travel and do these education moments in hospitals or conferences or dinners or whatever. Again, it's just another unique, we're really trying to approach this one with not just another program, but more like a movement along the lines of fear-free. They're very cohesive. We're certified fear-free. I don't have no issue with the culture. It starts in low stress handling starts in the living room, not in the exam room. It's too late, right? The dog's already jacked up to Jesus when they get to the vet hospital. So in Ready Vet Go, or Vet Ready Go, I'm sorry, with Vet Ready Go, the whole part of that program that's just to get your dog in the car. Like, that's where we're going. We're going from your dog's in the kennel. If you want a calm dog in your hospital, that dog has to come out of the kennel calm. You got to put the leash on calm. You got to walk out the door calm. You got to get in the car calm. You got to ride to the hospital calm. You got to get out of the car calm. You got to walk in the hospital calm. You got to be calm, right? But the average dog owner is like, what's the first thing you do when you want to take your dog for a walk? You grab your leash. You want to go for a walk? And the dog's like, oh, yeah, I want to go for a walk. Right? So we got the dog jacked up to 10, and that energy just goes where you go. Right? And they're riding to the hospital and driving in the car going, oh my God, they're going to put something in your butt. Oh, Jesus. They're masters in the subject of you. If you're freaking out, you damn right your dog's going to be freaking out too, Yeah. So you got to be the thing that you want out of your dog. And that takes practice.
Nice. That's fantastic. I love, Shane, I can sit here and talk to you all day. I love everything you're doing. I love it all.
Thank you.
I think that's the same brain in terms of ideas, visionary, changing the world, or changing our industry anyway.
Yes.
I love. Where can people find you, Shay?
I'm easy to find. .com.
SallySaidSo.com.
SallySaidSo.com.
Love it.
Remember, this is not just for us to send a trainer to your living room, yes, it's North Carolina. I am CE and race approved. Next leg of my career, I am really pushing to pursue a speaking engagement where I can come, whether it's entrepreneurial, whether it's CE. I really would like the opportunity for those that are watching this. If you've been entertained by what we've talked about, all of my CE dinners are half stand-up comedy, half knowledge. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not laughing, you're not learning. You're not going to sit up there and listen to some stuffy ass drug rep you done heard 86 times. We're going to talk dog. I'm a real dude. We live in the real world, and we deliver the information in a real way. So I am looking for those speaking opportunities, whether it's individual hospitals or events. So please keep me in mind for that. And you can also reach me through our website. My staff will get the message directly to me at SallySaidSo.com.
Thank you so much, Shane. It's been an absolute ball and pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate the forum to my story. Oh, you get your ass to North Carolina. We're going to put you on a Wahoo, and it's going to change your freaking life.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yep.
Thank you so much for joining me. And thanks for joining me on the Vet Story Podcast. If you found this episode helpful, please make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. If you want to come on the show to share your story or knowledge, email me, Rhys, RHYS, at ivmsolutions.org. This podcast is brought to you by IVMS, Innovative Veterinary Management Solutions. If you're a private practice owner or manager and find that the wheels are spinning with little to no direction or profits, or even if your culture is struggling, give me a shout. This is exactly what I help practices fix. I even offer the only money-back guarantee that exists in our industry today. Practice ownership should not be this hard. Visit ivmsolutions.org to learn more. Until next time, take care.